What's going on, everybody? It is Necro Ninja here, and today I'm going to teach you how to do the Last Wish raid. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, why the hell, Necro, are you going to teach us a raid that has been in the game for 6 years? Well, let me tell you, I've got two reasons. Number one, I've looking over all the videos that I have on the YouTube channel, and I noticed that I don't have any raid guides for the older raids. So I thought to myself, let's make them. So we're starting with Last Wish. And number two, believe it or not, new players are still coming into the game of Destiny and they have no idea what they're doing. So I figured I'd make a nice little comfortable guide to help them out when they're trying to do this raid. So this is going to be a full up-to-date guide for 2024 on how to do the Last Wish. That will include all the secret chests, the wish wall, how to do every mechanic in the raid like you would when it first released. And yes, when we get to Riven, I will show you both options. One, doing it the quick kill way, and two, doing it the legit Riven way. But before we begin, if you guys could so kindly hit that like and subscribe button down below, I would love that. It would be so helpful for me, and I do appreciate and love every one of you guys. You guys are beautiful people. Now, without further ado, buckle up for safety, because we're going in. Alright peeps, so there's going to be timestamps down below, so you guys can jump around the video and get to whatever encounter you guys are trying to learn. Just trying to make it easy for you guys. All right, so the very first thing that I'm going to want to show you guys is the wish wall. So after you land and you go in here, you go through a little bit of dialogue, and then you want to follow this pathway. It's going to look kind of similar if you've done the seasonal mission, the season finale mission of the Season of the Wish. But if you follow this path, it'll lead you right to the wish wall. So there are 14 different wishes that you can enter into this by shooting the nodes and changing the symbol. I will have a link or a picture down below in the description. I will have a link to a picture, I will, if I should say, to all of the wishes, so you guys can go ahead and mess around with that all you want. But right now we are not going to enter any wishes for this guide. Here we are at our first encounter and first boss fight, Kalli. Things to note, Kalli is a crit boss, which means that hitting her in her crit spot is going to do more damage than a normal crit spot would for other enemies. Which in this case means that you do not want to use divinity on this boss, because it's going to take away that extra multiplier that you would normally get just by shooting her in her crit spot. Weapon recommendations, I highly recommend using rockets. If you're really good with linears, use a linear. You can sword her if you want to. She's rather easy to do. So when you enter this room, the first thing you're probably going to notice is that there are 6 symbols hanging in the middle of the room. There are also 8 plates scattered throughout the room with symbols hanging above them. We're going to want to assign the symbols in the middle to each person and send them to their own respective plates. 6 of you, 6 plates. To start this encounter, you're just going to step on a plate. You're going to notice that the plate is separated into 3 sections. When you step on the plate, 2 blight balls are going to appear on 2 of the sections, and 1 section is going to be clear. You're going to want to stand on the clear section. If you're standing in one of the blight balls and the blight balls explode, it's going to kill you. There's going to be a couple rounds of this and the balls move, so you're going to want to pay attention and move to the open spot every time there's a new part. Once you've successfully cleansed the plate by standing on here and just moving around, a knight will spawn. You will then kill the knight and then just meet up with your team in the middle of the pit. While standing here in the pit, you're going to notice that there are doors in front of you. Kalli is going to spawn above a section of the doors. You're going to want to do a bunch of DPS to her as much as you can. And then when she starts doing her white mechanic, 6 of those doors, if you have cleansed all 6 plates that you were supposed to, will open up and you will need to run inside them. 1 person per door. If you try to put more than 1 person in a door, the door will not close and Kalli's white mechanic will go off and kill you. If you successfully fit 1 person in each door, the doors will close and you will be saved from the white mechanic. After the white mechanic happens, the doors will reopen and you guys can go back into the pit. Kalli will teleport to a new section of the arena, of the pit area above another section of doors, and it's just a rinse and repeat process. You will do more damage, she'll start a white mechanic, doors will open, run in, be protected, come out, goes to the last section, do more damage, go in the doors, be protected, come on out. Generally, you should only have to cleanse plates once throughout this whole encounter because Kalli doesn't really have that much health. But if for whatever reason you guys just don't have the DPS for it, after the 3rd set of doors is done, you're going to notice that there's going to be 6 more symbols above you, and then you're going to want to go and find those 6 plates and just rinse and repeat the whole process until she's dead. After you've taken down Kalli, there's going to be a small jumping puzzle on a bridge coming up. There is also a secret chest here. If you follow this path, I will lead you right to it. Alright, so up next we have encounter number 2, and this is going to be Shuro Chi boss fight. This is kind of a famous weapon leveling farm location, so if you want to grab a checkpoint here, go for it. You can also use the wish wall to wish here. You can use the wish wall actually to wish to any of these encounters, but that's not important right now. Loadout wise, this encounter is pretty ad clear heavy. So having a lot of stuff that can clear ads quickly is, great. For DPS, this is where I like to use a sword. Highly recommend staying away from anything explosives because you're going to be pretty close to the boss and you do not want to blow yourself up. So swords, shotguns, stuff like that should work pretty well here. This encounter is going to require a little bit more coordination than Kalli. There are a few things that you're going to want to assign to people before starting this encounter. The first thing that you're going to want to assign is that there's going to be a part where there are 3 crystals, so you're going to need to assign 3 crystal holders. Next, there is going to be a puzzle, and you're going to want to assign 4 people labeling 1, 2, 3, and 4 to do the puzzle. I will explain everything, don't worry, when we get there. When you start this encounter, you're going to notice that Shuro Chi's health bar is separated into 6 smaller sections. There are 3 floors to this encounter. You're going to have 2 DPS phases each floor, which the 6 DPS phase being the very last DPS phase to kill Shuro Chi. A quick side note, while you're doing this encounter, you're going to come across an enemy called Eye of Riven. When you kill him, it is going to drop a ball named Eye of Riven. You do not have to pick this up. Just stay away from it. Don't touch it. We don't need it for this encounter. After you've killed a bunch of ads, Shuro Chi is going to move into a location between 3 plates that are set up in a triangle formation. At some point, 3 crystals are going to spawn on each of the platforms. The 3 people that you've designated to be your crystal holders will each take a crystal and then jump on the plate and shoot the crystal to their partner to the right, forming a triangle around Shuro Chi. You'll notice that while you're standing on this plate, you are taking damage. So you want to be coordinated. You want to do a little countdown. 1, 2, 3, on, shoot. And then that's going to break Shuro Chi's shield. Once Shuro Chi's shield is broken, this is when you guys can go in and deal the damage that you need to do to push her on. If you're not quick enough, she will wipe the team. Once you have done enough damage to her to complete one of those little bar sections, she will then move on. There will be more ads to kill, and then you'll just kind of repeat the process, but further along the line. So you kill more ads. She will spawn herself into another location where there are 3 plates. 3 more crystals will spawn, create another triangle, do more damage. After you've successfully done 2 damage phases on this floor, you will then move into the puzzle room. There will be 3 puzzles on the wall. 1 on the left, 1 in the middle, 1 on the right. There is going to be a 3x3 grid of those circles that do damage when you stand on them in the center of the room. While looking at one of the puzzles, you can see that the puzzle is split up into a 3x3 grid. Here, I'll kind of do a little tic-tac-toe thing for you guys here so you guys can see it more clearly. When you enter this room, the puzzle on the left wall will be active. It will be showing you an image, and 4 of those squares on that image are going to be missing. What you will need to do is you will need to stand on the plates corresponding to the missing squares. If you are ever confused on the orientation that the circles should be with the squares, you would want to look at the puzzle straight on, and then that is the orientation that you are doing the puzzle from. Now remember when I said to assign people 1, 2, 3, and 4? This is where this comes into handy. You're going to want to read the puzzle like a book from left to right. The first missing square will be number 1. The second missing square, number 2. Third missing square, number 3. Fourth missing square, number 4. So if you were assigned the number 2 spot here, you would look for the second missing piece reading left to right, and then you would go over and get ready for your plate. Again, these plates do damage to you, so you're going to want to do a countdown and jump on at the same time. There's a little extra catch here. If you step on a plate and then get off of the plate, you cannot step back on that same plate again until the puzzle is complete. The plate will turn red and it will not accept your input. Somebody else will have to stand on that plate. This is important because after you complete the first puzzle on the left, it will move to the puzzle in the middle, and there are some times where some of the placements of the puzzle might align up where you've already stood on that same circle, so you would need somebody to either trade spaces with you or have one of the ad clear, the extra 2 people that are in the room clearing the ads for you guys to take your spot for a second. Once you've cleared the middle puzzle, it will then move to the right puzzle. Do the same thing, clear the puzzle. Once you've cleared all 3 puzzles, 3 of those little teacup things are going to drop down, and then you're going to ascend them up to the 2nd floor, which then you're going to rinse and repeat, killing ads, doing the triangle diamond thing, do DPS twice on this floor again, and then you're going to move into the 2nd puzzle room, which is the same concept as the first puzzle room. Once you complete it, move up to the 3rd floor. Once you get to the 3rd floor, you do not have to worry about any more puzzles. There's only 2 of them. Do the crystal triangle thing again 2 more times. The final part of this, the ads do not stop spawning, and she's a little bit more chunky. Her health bar is a little more chunky at the end here. So just give everything you got, go all in on her, and you should be good. Okay, now after we've completed Shuro Chi, there's going to be another secret chest, the last secret chest in here. If you just follow this path, and I will lead you right to it. Now, after a small jumping puzzle, we are going to be moving on to the third encounter, third boss, Morgeth. All right, now I'm going to be honest with you guys. Morgeth is a pushover. He is probably the easiest boss in the entire game next to Templar. Just rock a Well of Radiance and some linear fusion rifles, and it's GG. All right, let's talk about mechanics here. We're going to want to split the team up into 2 teams. 3 people on the left, 3 people on the right. You'll notice that there is a ball in the middle. That is called a taken strength. To start the encounter, one will need to jump through it, and it will attach to you as a debuff. You can only hold 2 taken strengths at a time. If you try to pick up a third one, you will die. Very important, remember that. You will want to designate one person to pick up that first taken strength. They will be in charge of picking the first one up and the last one. Their whole purpose is to not touch another one throughout the entire thing until that final one, which will spawn right there again, is there. Once he has grabbed the first taken strength, have that person run over to the left side to meet with the other 2 people. Now there will be a wave of ads. We'll need to kill a bunch of ads. And then at some point, Morgeth is going to spawn 4 more taken strengths. 2 on the left, 2 on the right. The people on the left will pick up 1 each. The people who have not picked one up yet will pick up 1 each on the left. On the right side, you're going to designate one person to pick up both of the taken strengths. After all the taken strengths are picked up, Morgeth is going to choose somebody to get locked down in a tornado. What's going to happen is because the person on the right side picked up 2 taken strengths, he's going to automatically lock down that person. We want to force him to lock down that person. Now, one of the other 2 people on the right side is going to be a cleanser. Now, remember that Eye of Riven that I told you about in Shuro Chi? Well, it's back. And this time, it actually has a purpose here. The cleanser, first cleanser, is going to kill the Eye of Riven, pick up an Eye of Riven, and then go over to the tornadoed ally, hit the grenade button, and is going to take the taken strength away from that person and release them from the tornado. Now, the person who cleansed them has 2 taken strengths, and the person who was tornadoed has none. After this happens, there will be another wave of ads, and then there's going to be another wave of taken strength. 2 more on the left, 2 more on the right. At this point, over on the left side, the 2 people that did not start the encounter will pick up their second taken strengths. And then over on the right side, the person who first picked up the first 2 will then pick up another 2 because they don't have any. This should leave one person with no strengths and one person with 1 strength. 1 strength on the left, no strengths on the right. Now, since everybody has 2 taken strengths, it's going to be random who gets tornadoed. The person who does not have any taken strengths at this point will need to be the second cleanser. Once somebody gets tornadoed, they will call out, "Hey, help, I'm stuck." The cleanser will kill the Eye of Riven, pick up the Eye of Riven, go find them, and release them from the tornado. After they are released from the tornado, the final taken strength will spawn right where the first taken strength spawned, right in the middle. That is the person who picked up the first taken strength's queue. They will run over there, pick up that last taken strength, and now it is DPS time. Like I said, Morgeth is a pushover. Shoot him in the big pimples, drop a well, and just go to town. He should fall over with ease. Alright, so now we're moving on to the next encounter. We're going from one of the simplest encounters to one of the more complicated encounters, the vault. Alright, this is a lot to explain, so bear with me. We are going to need to split the team up into 2 separate teams, a reader team and a defending team. Let me explain the easiest role first because it's the easiest one, the defenders. You're going to notice that there are 3 rooms. Stairs, which has a staircase, which is what you came up with. You can also call an entrance. Rocks, which has the big boulder, hence rock. And trees, which has the big tree, hence tree. In front of these rooms, there are 3 plates. As a defender, your main objective is to defend the plate and your readers as they're reading. Occasionally, a special enemy called Might of Riven is going to spawn and bum rush it to the plate and try to stick its sword in the plate. If it sticks its sword in the plate after a few seconds, it will wipe the team. So, as a defender, it is your job to make sure those do not get to the plate. And that's it. That's your job as a defender. Now, reading team. I hope you're well versed in the symbols that are all over the place in Last Wish. If not, I hope you're very descriptive when describing pictures to people. So the 3 people on the reading team will need to pick a room and a plate. To start the encounter, the reading teams will step on to all 3 plates. Once they do, they're going to get locked in place, and then right in front of them on the key that is in the middle of the room is going to be 3 symbols. The objective in this encounter is to cleanse the plates. To cleanse the plate, we need to make sure that we're getting the right buff. There are 2 different buffs in this: Antumbra and Pantumbra. To figure out what your plate is, we need to do some symbol matching. The Pantumbra and Antumbra buffs correspond to left and right. Pantumbra is left, Antumbra is right. For all of my United States or North American peeps out there, an easy way to remember this is if you're looking at the map of America, the Pacific Ocean is to your left. P, Pantumbra, Pacific, left. The Atlantic Ocean is to your right. A, Atlantic, Antumbra. That's just how I memorize it. There's multiple ways to memorize it, but just so you just keep in mind, Pantumbra, left. Antumbra, right. So starting with the stairs plate, they are going to read the center symbol, the symbol that is in the middle of all 3 symbols that they have. That symbol is either going to appear on the left or the right of trees or rocks. For the scenario, let's say that the center symbol that you read off in the stairs location appears on the left side of rocks. Rocks will call out, I have that on my left. What that is indicating is that the rocks plate is a left plate, which means that it is a Pantumbra plate. At this point, rocks will now read their center symbol, and that symbol is either going to appear on the left or the right of trees, because they are the only ones that have not read their center symbol yet. In this hypothetical scenario, let's say that trees has that symbol on their right side. They will say, I have that symbol on my right. That is indicating that trees is an Antumbra plate because it's on the right side. Now, trees will read their center symbol. That is either going to appear on the left or the right for stairs, because stairs does not have, we don't know what stairs' plate is yet. Let's say it's on the left. Stairs will go, I have that on my left. So now stairs has a Pantumbra plate. Rocks has a Pantumbra plate. Trees has an Antumbra plate. Now I know that's confusing. That is very confusing for a lot of people. And it's a lot of information to kind of try to hold together. However, there's an easier way to kind of think about it. In this encounter, there will always be 2 of one kind and 1 of the other. Best way to figure out where to go with these plates is to figure the odd buff out. So in that scenario that I just told you, where stairs read theirs, and then rocks said that their plate was Pantumbra, and then rocks read theirs, and then trees said that theirs is Antumbra, and then trees read theirs and said that stairs is Pantumbra. Stairs and rocks are Pantumbra, and trees was Antumbra. All you need to do is focus on the fact that trees is Antumbra. If somebody picks up the Antumbra buff and goes and cleanse it, then the other 2 buffs are going to be Pantumbra and you don't have to worry about it. I hope that makes sense. It's a lot, I know. But wait, there's more. Because now that we know what the plates are, we need to go get the buffs. After a short while, the rooms will close. There will be a taken wall that comes down and blocks the room out. There'll be one room that is not blocked out. Whatever room that is, the reader for that room will need to run in there and start clearing ads. An Eye of Riven will spawn and they will kill that enemy and it'll drop an Eye of Riven. When they pick up that buff, if they look above their super bar, the buff will either tell you it's Pantumbra or Antumbra. Now, as soon as you kill this enemy, the wall is going to close in and lock you in the room. You will notice to your left and to your right, there are going to be hallways. On the outside, another room is going to open up. The outside team will let you know what room is open. Depending on which room it is, you are going to run down the corresponding hallway to get to the other room and then exit out. You'll then need to take your buff to the appropriate plate, press the grenade button, and cleanse the plate. After you've cleansed the 3 plates, you will then step back on the plates and then do another reading. You need to do this 3 times. That's a total of 9 plates cleansed. If you cleanse the wrong plate with the wrong buff, you will die. This is one of those encounters where when you start to do it and you start to get the hang of it, it becomes easy and simple and you guys will just blast right through it. And now for the star of the show, the big baddie herself, Riven of 1,000 Voices. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the quick kill first, and then I will show you how to do the legit way. So for the quick kill, you're going to want to have at least 1 well. A bunch of golden guns would help massively because golden gun is just superb this season. We are going to do the linear fusion rifle method. There is a sword method if you'd like to do that with the tractor cannon, but we went ahead and we did linears in golden gun. So what you're gonna have to have everybody do is everybody stand on one of the 6 plates, and that's going to drop us down into the encounter. Everybody is going to float to one side, specifically the crystal side. Look for the giant crystal, float for that side, and go through that door. You're gonna want to have somebody walk all the way up and into the room and look at the stage. If you see Riven's shadow, you guys are going to stay there because she is going to come out of there last, and that's where you're going to be doing the DPS. If you do not see Riven's shadow, you guys are going to run out and hug this special wall over here. You'll see joining allies, and you want to just stand there until you guys teleport back to the top. Once you guys teleport back to the top, you guys are going to run to the right side and then just fall down the elevator shafts. Once you get to the very bottom, you should have enough time to get yourself set up, kill some ads, and hang on a little bit until Riven appears. Drop a well, and then fire everything you have into the big taken ball that is in her mouth. This works mainly just because Bungie has power crept us beyond belief here, and we're not supposed to be able to kill Riven here right out, but you know, Bungie gave us all the power. So you'll get her down to last stand. Once you get into last stand, she will teleport you into a jumping puzzle. You really only need to have 1 person complete the jumping puzzle. If you feel that you are not very good at jumping puzzles, you can just hang back and let other people do it. 1 person just needs to make it to the end and jump through the taken strength. It will teleport the team back into the room where Riven is. She will pop out 1 more time for her final stand, and then you're going to unload the rest of her health. Once she dies, you guys are going to want to jump into her throat, run all the way down, and then destroy her heart. And then boom, you're done. Easy. And now for Riven Legit. Buckle up, motherfuckers. This is going to be a ride. So we are going to want to split the team up into 2 teams. Team 1, Team 2. Team 1 will be standing on the left side, the left 3 platforms that are going to go down. Team 2, stand on the right side platforms going down. Once all 6 people are standing on the platforms, we will fall down. There are 2 chambers down here. There is a chamber with a crystal in front of it, and there's a chamber with a tree in front of it. Team 1 will float towards the crystal. Team 2 will float towards the tree. And then you guys will go into the chambers respectively. Now here's a bit of RNG. There's a little bit of RNG that's going to happen here. 1 team is going to get Riven first. That team is going to be kind of like the babysit stall team, while the other team that did not get Riven first will be trying to activate their elevator. Let's start with the team that did not get Riven first. We'll call that Team 2. Their goal is to try to activate the elevator before Team 1 sends Riven over to them. They're going to be looking for the Eye of Riven enemy. As they kill it, it'll drop the Eye of Riven. One person will need to pick that up. You're going to notice that there is a tower with a glass window towards the back of the room. When someone picks up the Eye of Riven, they're going to look towards that tower, and then they're going to see a bunch of symbols. They're all going to be the same symbol. They're going to call that out. One of the other players will need to jump into the tower and look through the window. They're going to see all sorts of symbols all over the place. It is going to be random, but don't try to memorize it. They're going to look for the symbol that the person who picked up the Eye of Riven called out, and then they're going to direct that player to that symbol. Very important. If you are directing the player, if you are in the tower, please read from your perspective. Give us directions from your perspective. If you are holding the Eye of Riven, a quick simple turn to face the curtain, the stage curtain, would easily help you adjust to where the person directing you is leading you. It's very important while you're giving directions to give very, very specific directions to where they need to go. While holding the Eye of Riven, anytime that you get close to a symbol, you're going to see kind of like a ball, almost a translucent ball that appears. Once you get to the symbol that you need to get, once you're directed to the symbol that you need to get to, you will press the grenade button and it'll cleanse it and it'll activate the elevator in the back room. If you try cleansing on the wrong symbol, you will die. There's also a timer on this, so you got to be kind of quick, because if it hits 10 stacks, you're going to die too. The faster you do this, the better, because the other team is baiting Riven, and at some point they're going to have to do a thing, which I'm going to get to in a second here. Cleansed it and activated the elevator. You can tell the other team to send Riven over. Let's go over to the other side. While Team 2 is activating their elevator, Team 1 is playing with Riven. Riven is going to come out and she's going to do one of two attacks. She's either going to have a giant tentacle that's going to slam on the ground, or she's going to breathe fire. Both of these attacks leave a vulnerable spot on her. The tentacle, when it slams into the ground, leaves a vulnerable spot on the nail of the tentacle. The fire breathing, when she breathes fire and she's done, her mouth will glow. That is the weak spot. When you break the weak spot, when you shoot the weak spot, she will recoil and she's going to show you 2 eyes. This will send her over to the other side. You don't want to send her right away. You want to give the other team some time. But if you wait too long, you're not going to get the eyes, and then that's bad. With the tentacle, you can safely bait the tentacle about 3, maybe 4 times before you have to break it and get the eyes. With the fire breath, it is 5. You can safely bait the 5 fire breaths before you have to break it. Don't be afraid to use heavy on the weak spots, because if you wait too long, just use the heavy, knock it out, get the eyes. Once you break the weak spot and she opens up her eyes, you're going to see 2 eyes glowing. You need to communicate to the other team which 2 eyes those are. I will give you a little diagram that we use for the eyes that you guys can use. You can screenshot it, and it's going to pop up here. Now, back to Team 2. Once Riven is sent over to you, she'll come out and she'll have she'll open her mouth and she'll start doing a white mechanic. There'll be a big black taking ball in her mouth. Just shoot that. Start shooting that with your heavy, with everything you have, lay into it. It's DPS phase for you. Once she closes her mouth, this is the cue that you need to pop the eyes. Those 2 eyes that the other team called out for you, you're going to need to pop them simultaneously, or within a couple seconds of each other. If you shoot the wrong eye, you wipe the whole team. If you don't shoot it fast enough, you wipe the whole team. Now, back to Team 1. Team 1, while they're over there doing some DPS to Riven and shooting eyes, you guys are going to be cleansing your elevator. So it's the same concept. Find the Eye of Riven, kill the Eye of Riven, pick up the Eye of Riven, look at the symbol, have someone direct you to that exact symbol, cleanse the elevator. Now, once the Eyes of Riven have been shot, she's going to climb up and she's going to go to the next floor. At this point, both teams are going to take their respective elevators up. Now your roles are going to switch. The team that got Riven first is now going to have Riven last. And it's just the same concept. The team that has Riven first will babysit and bait Riven while the other team is activating their elevator. For the second floor, the elevator is actually right in the middle, so just be careful not to accidentally go up afterwards. After you send Riven, get the eyes, do a little bit of damage, and then pop the eyes, the respective eyes that needed to be popped. She's going to climb up to the third floor. Once everybody has their elevator activated, both teams can go up. Now on this third floor, it's the floor that we started on before we dropped down to start the encounter. Up here, there are 4 stages. Riven is going to start at one stage and then work her way clockwise. Here, you're going to want to designate 3 guardians to remember 2 eyes each. So when Riven comes out of that first stage, she's either going to do a tentacle slams or she's going to do fire breaths. You'll break her weak point and she'll open up and she'll give you 2 eyes. One guardian will need to remember those 2 eyes. She'll move on to the next stage. She'll either tentacle slam, fire breath, break the weak point. She's going to show 2 more eyes. Second guardian is going to have to remember that. She will then move on to the third stage, tentacle slam, fire breath, break one of the weak points, and she's going to show 2 more eyes. And the third fire team member will need to remember that, those 2 eyes. Once she gets to the 4th stage, this is the DPS / white mechanic time. She will have that black ball in her mouth again. You just unload everything you have into her. Now, because we are so power crept, generally, this is where it all ends. You just out DPS her, the 6 of you, and then you move on to the final stand. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to show you what the mechanic looked like after this part, so we kind of like held back a little bit. When she closes her mouth, that is the cue that you're going to want to pop the eyes. So you have all 3 people that remember eyes, do a little countdown, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to shoot all the eyes that you guys have memorized, all 6 of them. Now, in this footage here, we forgot a very crucial part. Though we salvaged it, we almost did it, and it's actually hilarious. After you pop all 6 of her eyes, you're going to start gaining stacks of darkness ridiculously fast. You need to immediately run back to one of those platforms that you are to cleanse yourself. Once everybody gets on a platform, it'll open up and then you'll start falling down. We totally forgot that we had to do that. And we started dropping like flies, but we still managed with a nice little res chain. We got everybody on a plate. Once everybody's on a plate, the plates will open up and you're going to start dropping down. You're going to notice now that Riven has giant taken pimples on her. This is where the big meat of the damage used to come from when back in the day when you had to do legit Riven. You're going to want to use your heavy, use whatever you want, pop those pimples, and then it's going to do big chunks of damage to Riven. When you pop a pimple, it's going to send some of the Axion darts out your way, so you might want to pop those too. But after popping a few pimples, it will teleport you into a Taken realm, which is a nice little jumping puzzle. All you have to do is have one person make it. They just do the jumping puzzle, get to the top, run through the Taken strength, and it'll teleport everybody out into the final room. Riven will come out of the stage, do the last bit of damage to her. She'll die. You'll run down her throat, kill the hearts, and you have just completed legit Riven. All right, we're in the home stretch now. This is the final encounter of the last wish. This is called Queenswalk. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Let's get into it. All right, so the goal of Queenswalk is to get the heart all the way back to the cleansing ritual. The pathway from Riven's stomach area that we're in now to the cleansing ritual is pretty straightforward and linear. As long as you just keep following the paths that are open, you should make it there in no time. Now, to start this encounter, one of the 6 of you is going to have something called Fate's Chosen. You are going to be able to pick up the heart. When a Fate's Chosen picks up the heart, it's going to create a giant bubble around them. If you are outside of the bubble, you are going to be gaining stacks of darkness. If the stacks hit 10, you will die. So everybody staying inside the bubble is going to be a good thing for now. While you're holding the heart, you're going to notice that you have a timer. Once that timer hits 0, you are going to get sucked into the heart. Everybody else who is actually inside of that bubble will also get sucked in the heart. So we're going to want to make sure that everybody knows that the timer is hitting 0 and they can get out of the bubble for a couple seconds. Once you get sucked into the heart, somebody new will be chosen as Fate's Chosen, and they will need to pick up the heart immediately to get the bubble back. When you get teleported into the heart, you're going to notice that there is Taken Strength in here. You pick up all of the Taken Strength, and it's going to extend the timer for the person who is holding the heart. We're going to want to capitalize on maximizing the amount of time that we can extend it by. So we're going to listen for the person holding the heart's countdown. When they hit about 3 seconds, you're going to pick up the last of the Taken Strength. If you are the first person to get teleported into the heart, you should be the last person to grab the last Taken Strength to guarantee that the timer is extended on time. You can only extend the timer once per person, so on the second time, that person is going to get sucked into the heart. For every new person that gets sucked into the heart, another Taken Strength appears. If you were not the first person to get sucked into the heart, you should just pick up a Taken Strength immediately. Now, like I said, the pathway is pretty straightforward and linear. Here, you can just watch this pathway and follow my route, and it'll show you how to get to the end. And that's it, guys. You dunk the heart and boom, you're done. You know, sprinkle a little bit of DPS on the heart just for good measure too. Once you've completed everything, you're going to get to use one of those keys that you just got from killing Riven on any of these chests. Of course, you're probably going to want to pick this one right here because it always gives you 1k. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you coming out, sticking around. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, a comment, share with your friends, show your grandma. I love you guys. I will see you in the next one. Have a great night. Toodles!